This show is brought to you by Boricua Beer, coming to your local retailer in September.
Are you proud to be Hispanic?
Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer.
I want to be a police officer.
I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
This show has been brought to you by Taino Light Beer, coming to your favorite retailer in September in Central Florida. Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you every week on Bright House Cable for the past 14 years, hopefully 15. We have other shows that we bring into the community. We have EDU TV. EDU TV is a show about education for educators, and Greg Perkins is the host of that show. And then we also have Latino Role Models, which is also broadcast every week along with Speak Out TV and EDU TV. And that's about women who are achieving successes and contributing to our society. Hispanic Speak Out is a political issues show. We have very controversial conversations, which is the pattern of this show. And it's designed to make you think, and we have different perspectives. We have a conservative Republican with William Garlington, and we have a liberal Democrat with Greg Perkins. We have an ultra-liberal with Jose Miranda, who used to be a New York City police officer.
And we have our own conehead here on this side.
And we have Danny Ramos, who is a registered independent and the host of your show.
Republican.
So, depending on the issue. Okay, so let's talk about the upcoming elections for president. And I want to talk, we haven't spoken about Hillary Clinton, which is the queen of your whatever, okay? Let's talk about Hillary. They're still after her for the emails. What do you think about that?
Oh my God. When are you guys gonna let that go? It's a non-issue. Most of the public, they don't care about the emails, they care about her policies.
Most of the public is not educated when it comes to what's going on. They don't even know what the email issue is. You walk into the street and you ask 10 people, what is the email issue? What is the Benghazi issue? They think Benghazi is a clown that's in Disneyland. You know what I mean? They have no idea of what the politics is. All they understand is what you get. That's why they spend so much money in elections, because they create an image.
It's a dead issue.
In cameras.
It's a dead issue.
You believe it's dead? How do you feel about it?
I don't think it's a dead issue. I think it's sad that a presidential contender can basically violate the law by having her own server, when she was Secretary of State.
She did violate the law.
Yes,
the president already knew about it.
Right. Well,
then
the administration,
the administration didn't enact the law.
The president said it was okay.
Right. Well, I don't know why it's given her preferential treatment for it to be okay. In other words, it amazes me that liberals...
Because Colin Powell had a separate email.
Well, no, but...
but he used the server, his government server, and he had his own server.
Right.
Hillary Clinton did not use the government server at all.
She used her own server. But it amazes me that when a Democrat, liberal Democrat says, you know, it's a dead issue, but if a Republican were to do this, or a conservative were to do that, I mean, we have case after case after case that you guys land base the conservative Republican Party.
No, you can't say that. Bush had the same issue.
That's right.
Bush had exactly the same issue, and nobody talking about torture and keeping people against their will. That was our president.
That's
okay.
Right.
And what issue was that? Explain to me, because I'm not sure.
I don't understand.
Starting in a legal war. You're saying that it's amazing when Democrats
I don't know how
we get on
start
emails to
talking
go
about
to
Hillary emails and her
and we go back to Bush.
Because it's a non-issue.
And we're talking about Iraq.
We're talking about non-issues.
Well, we think it's the American people out there think it's an issue.
Okay.
And
what I'm observing here,
and they're going to vote,
is that you're saying it's a non-issue, and you're a Democrat. You're saying it's a non-issue. You're a Democrat. You're saying it is an issue.
Absolutely.
And that's what the two parties are about.
That's right.
Okay,
Well,
it's different philosophy.
Here's the deal. Nobody thinks this is a big issue except you, right? William and Fox News. You guys are the only people that think it's a big issue. Okay. Everybody else, it's
I see. So the entire Congress, so the Republican Congress of the United States doesn't think. Why not? The people elected the people elected a Republican House of Representatives and a Republican Senate. They think it's an issue.
No, they don't.
Oh, I see. So you're saying that the guys who are in the committee they don't think it's an issue. Then why does the committee
exist? Why aren't they going after it? Why
they are going after
it?
They're being blocked. But let me ask you guys, why is Hillary Clinton such a standout candidate for your group? I mean, what does she do? What does she bring to the table?
Hillary has been a lifelong Democrat who's always supported Democrat policies. However, I think that she could be a little less fake. She needs to be more authentic.
Wait a second.
It's about time. It's about time we elected a woman, right? Don't you think so? Are you anti-woman?
You want to know something? I think I'm going to answer it. I am.
Okay. It's a yes or no.
Can you shut your mouth?
It's a yes or
no. Can you shut up so I can
yes
answer his question?
No. Answer the question. Yes or no.
He's not letting.
Yes or no.
I am for Elizabeth Warren instead of Hillary Clinton. I think Elizabeth Warren makes a much better candidate than Hillary Clinton does.
Sarah Palin as well.
By the way, Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren is a woman, in case you didn't know.
She is a woman, yeah.
She's a woman, and she's a leading Democrat.
So is Sarah
She's
Palin.
a leading senator, and she, to me, would make a better candidate. And I remember someone sitting in this group actually going on TV, and admitting that Elizabeth Warren is a better candidate than Hillary Clinton. Now, who was that person? Who was that person? Said it here on TV.
Said it here on TV. One of those candidates.
So,
by the way, we would love for Sarah Palin.
Just because Hillary Clinton has been a lifelong Democrat, that doesn't make her the best presidential candidate.
Right.
She would not even be a candidate if she wasn't the wife of Bill Clinton.
No.
She never would have gotten to first base. She rode in on his coattails politically, and she became a political person because of Bill Clinton.
So you say she was a bad senator? And
no,
now
I didn't.
You're saying she was a bad secretary of
no,
state.
what I'm saying.
Is that what you're saying?
No, what I am saying is.
And you don't want to.
Is that if it wasn't for Bill Clinton?
What you just said?
No, I like women, and I respect the fact that a woman should be president of the United States. But I think the better candidate in the Democratic Party would be Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren has a better track record than Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton has a lot of skeletons in the closet.
She's not to be trusted by the American people. I mean, I don't know the percentages, but a lot of people don't trust her.
60% of the American public does not trust Hillary Clinton.
Right.
That's not to say they don't like her.
Right.
Because you can like somebody and not, we have a good time with them, but we don't trust them.
Right.
That's like Richard Nixon being going again. No one trusted him, but they liked him.
Except they actually caught him doing something. They haven't caught Hillary doing anything.
Well, that's because she destroyed all the evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, she destroyed 50,000 emails, and she made the decision.
Allegedly. You're alleged.
No, she admitted that she eliminated 50,000. She made it on television.
Right.
That she felt were personal emails that she wrote to Bill, and Bill admitted that he never uses email.
Right.
So, she destroyed 50,000 emails.
You can't trust Bubba.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be able to pull up her emails of the people that she actually emailed that have other email addresses? You can find those.
Well, they're trying to, and the State Department is holding back on it.
I just don't know what Hillary Clinton's for. That's all. I'm just kind of scratching my head.
All I got to say is this.
Yeah.
She was Secretary of State, right?
Bad one.
Okay. Well, let's see.
No, you don't know that.
Okay.
Ask the 4 people that didn't make it out of the embassy in Benghazi.
No, that had nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do with it, but that's a good try.
The entire Arab, look, what happened during Hillary Clinton?
Very good try.
The entire Arab Spring was all Hillary Clinton. Egypt collapsed. Libya collapsed.
And she was behind.
Tunisia collapsed. She was the Secretary of State.
She did it herself.
She did American policy.
And you know who she did that with? Obama.
Well, she worked for Obama.
Right,
she worked for Obama. Now, whether she allowed Obama to participate or not, that's another subject. Because maybe she didn't tell him everything.
You're crazy.
Just like she didn't tell us about what was on the 50,000 emails.
Oh, my God.
I mean, can you imagine working for a corporation, like, let's say any corporation, Colgate, whatever, okay?
Right.
And telling the president, oh, I erased 50,000 emails that has to do with communications that I initiated as Secretary of State.
Right.
And I had it all on my private server, but I'm the vice president of the company, or I'm the director of, and I eliminated all of these thousands. She would be fired in an instant.
You know, marijuana is not legal in the state yet, right? Yet you're coming on the set all fired up with.
I'm coming on the set because.
All like a pothead, man. Oh, you're all over the place, man. You're gonna blame this woman for all the ills in the Middle East?
You want to know something? Let me. Okay, you want to know how I feel about that?
Every single
Bush went in wrong. I agree. Totally agree.
That's the first time I heard that.
I agree. But that could have been isolated. They expanded it and they called it the Arab Spring, fresh air. We're going to bring democracy to all the Arabs. 5 countries went down as a result of it. Iran is now still being propped up with hundreds of millions of dollars, and Puerto Rico can't get a bailout.
This is Clinton, right?
Or the right to vote.
Or the right to vote.
This is Clinton, right?
This was all Clinton, yeah. She was responsible for that.
I just don't think she's qualified, that's all.
She is qualified. She's Bill's wife.
No.
That doesn't make her
She has
qualified.
executive level experience.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she qualifies. She filled out the application, right? She paid her fee.
Okay.
She meets the age requirement.
Well, shoot, I can do the same thing.
Are you anti-woman? You don't want a woman president?
Oh no, like I said, Sarah Palin would have been a great president.
Okay, and I don't necessarily agree with him on that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, yes,
I don't
yes,
necessarily.
Yes, you do. Don't even go there.
No, there are other women in the Republican Party that I think would have been better. That would have been better.
The one that's running right now, the
Carly Fiorina, got fired from HP.
Yeah.
Well, that happens in corporate takeovers.
You guys got some real winners out there.
That happens in corporate takeovers.
See, I don't think
that.
See, I don't think the Liberal Party wants a woman to run on their side, and I don't believe the Liberal Party wants a black man, in this case, Dr. Ben Carson, to get the nomination as well. The Democratic Party, in my opinion, wants an old white dude to run because the people in this country are low information voters, and they view the conservative Republican Party as old white men, and that they will vote for whoever runs for Democratic, even Bernie Sanders.
The Democrats are the ones who make
you know what?
You are conservative.
Bernie Sanders is coming up. As a matter of fact, last week they had a show on CNN that said that Hillary Clinton better start worrying about Bernie Sanders.
I would be tickled pink if he got the nomination.
He is picking up a lot of support.
The only thing that I'm watching Bernie Sanders, if you look at his crowds, he really hasn't gotten the collage that represents the Democrat Party. He's got to start doing a little more outreach to women, African Americans, Latinos. I have not seen something. That yet. He hasn't addressed those issues.
I don't think Bernie Sanders is going to make it down the line.
Right.
I am amazed though that he's making it because the people that are going to him is a voice against Hillary. This is Danny Ramos on Hispanic Speak Out. We're going to break. We'll talk to you in a few minutes.
My name is Janitzi Velez and I'm a proud Latina role model. Please embrace your uniqueness, be gracious, and everything that you do it with courage. You are great and you will do great things.
I'm Attorney Yara Rodriguez. I am very proud to be a Latina role model. And for you, my message is never quit, keep at it, and work 24/7 for whatever dream you have, because your dream will become a reality.
Hi, I'm Jose Miranda. This is Hispanic Speak Out, brought to you each week on Bright House Channel 49, starting at 9 with EDU TV, and then Hispanic Speak Out, and finally Latina Role Models. Please join us and stay tuned for all upcoming new shows that we have in the works as well. As you know, we talk politics and we talk education, we talk culture about Latinos and just about America in general, because I think we're an intricate part of everything. Here in Florida, we're having issues where we're going to have, in the next couple of months, actually in the last year or so, we've had a big influx of children and parents, of course, from Puerto Rico because of the economic situation there. And so it's coming into a town here a city called Kissimmee. And it's going to flood the school system. It's going to create something that hasn't been done here in ages. And I would say in some aspects of Florida, we're not ready for it in some aspects. So we need to get ready. And I needed to do that. I needed to speak to two experts on it. I have with me to my right, Manuel Hernandez, who is both a writer and a teacher, and we'll talk about his writing skills, which are off the chain. And joining him on the far right is Arturo Otero, who is Kissimmee Commissioner and what do you call it, Vice Mayor?
Well, I used to be Vice Mayor, but I'm running for Mayor.
He's running for Mayor of the city of Kissimmee. So these are my experts. Welcome, guys. I appreciate it. Your time. Gracias. Okay, you know. So you heard my intro. We're going to have a situation. So let's start from the first bomb. Okay, we have an influx, not immigrants, but we have American citizens coming to us from the island of Puerto Rico. I repeat, they are citizens. Okay, no green card, no nothing. Get on an airplane because they're part of the mainland. Okay, so they're coming here because of an economic situation, much like people leave Kansas or Seattle or New York to come to warmer places for health and other reasons. However, we have more numbers. So what are we looking at?
Well,
anything?
One thing I want to be in agreement with you. Yes, they're moving, American citizens moving from Puerto Rico here. That's the great statement. Because time ago they were saying Sotomayor, parents of immigrants to Puerto Rico, from Puerto Rico, and they're not immigrants, they're Americans. So it's clear to making sure that we have that. I'm representing the city of Kissimmee, and for sure we see a lot of growth into our community through the Latino community, for sure a lot of people from Puerto Rico, and it's going to be creating a big problem to the school system because they don't have sufficient classroom to be able to hold all the students that will be coming here, and many of them they will have issues about the language. So it's going to create a lot of pressure for teachers to making sure that those students are into par with the studies and programs that the school is offering. So,
Manny, you're in the classroom as well.
Yes, the demographics of schools have changed drastically in the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
As an example, a school in Osceola County, which 3 or 4 years ago was 53% Hispanic, today is 83% Hispanic.
Okay.
In August, September, we're looking at possibly a 90% Hispanic student population.
Okay.
So this may be the case in many, many schools, elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools in Kissimmee.
Right.
So there is a growing, developing situation, mainly because the educational system was not exactly designed to receive them.
Yeah.
There are so many of them, so there are not enough teachers. Not the strategies developed by the educational system are not necessarily receptive towards these kids that come in speaking a different language.
Okay. Well, talking about that, the language situation, but talking about the populace, we will agree that across the United States right now, Latinos on a whole, our numbers are increasing.
Correct.
We are, if not the leading folks at this point, I believe we have reached that goal. So we're going to affect politics and education and just the way things go across the board as we organize, because right now a lot of us are not organized, and that's one of our issues. But you're in a classroom that's already burdened in some aspects, okay? Even without the new influx, the numbers of course, the numbers of course that you get are hindering a little bit, but you already are under the gun and short of teachers. What are not used specifically, but what do you hear along the grapevine are they going to try to do to augment that, put more teachers into the system?
Well, first and foremost, any administrator of a school will probably tell its faculty what I heard. As you all know, next semester we're going to be having more portables, which is more space for students. Academically, the county has also worked with a sheltered instruction, which is geared for ESOL students, for new incoming students, not only for students from Puerto Rico, from Central South America, and from countries from all over the world, because the ESOL is English speakers of other languages. Right. At the same time, because there are so many students coming in, there are not enough teachers. Right. Number two, the system is not able to identify, support, and facilitate, which is what it should do. Identify these kids, right. Support, and facilitate. Sure. What they actually do is they identify them, they throw them in to these classrooms, sometimes not even ESOL classrooms, right. And it's sink or swim. And the fascinating thing about this experience is that we're living in a cycle right now. Sure. This happened 35, 40 years ago. I was born and raised in New York from Puerto Rican parents that came to New York in the 1950s, 60s. Right. But now they're coming to Florida. They're coming to Central Florida. They're coming to Kissimmee. Okay. And the system here is not really ready to work with them. Okay.
Arturo, in your capacity, I would say, for lack of a better word, you've been the man for a little bit of time now. Okay, so ESOL programs, and how do you allocate money specifically for that, and how are you trying to gear up for what's coming?
Well, in reference to monetary help to these programs, that is the school board that is working on that. Me as a elected official in the city of Kissimmee, in the municipal thing, it's just that it will create, you know, I don't want to say a chaos, but it's going to be required, you know, monetary to work with the service that we're going to provide in the city of Kissimmee. And what I see is that many of them coming here, they don't have a job, or they're moving with their family, or with their friends, or some of them moving to a motel. So, it's, you know, motel in Puerto Rico is something different, but here, you know, it's a different way of life. But sure. they live in, you know, in 192, you're gonna see more people living in motels, and for sure, the quality of life it can hinder many ways. Okay. So, for sure, the opportunity for jobs has to be created. You know, the background, the help to help those kids in the ESOL program. It's going to be really important. Waiting to see what our state, our representative, and our senator will do monetarily to help this issue that we're going to have in Kissimmee and Osceola County, in other areas too, in Orlando as well. So it's going to be needed of money for sure.
As a commissioner, how do you see your city trying to acclimate these people coming in? Jobs? Are there more jobs? Are you going to try to create more jobs?
Well,
can you create more jobs?
I can create jobs, but I can create the infrastructure. I can create the way that new industry can move to the area. We can provide incentive for them. Right. That's creating that background for sure. You will see new jobs coming into the area. I'm for bringing more technical education, more industry into the area that will facilitate that, because when we have the right education in our community, you're going to see new industry coming into the area.
I agree. Manny, tell me, culturally, okay? Culturally, why are a lot of Latinos migrating or coming to Kissimmee? Why not, I don't know, Tallahassee, you know, for example?
Well, of course, one of the things that attracts us all as Hispanics, the fact that others have come before us. Mm-hmm. Number two, there's this thing about the parks, you know, the opportunity for a better quality of life. Okay. Number three, the sun, you know, the Caribbean sun.
The Caribbean sun.
A little bit of that. But the truth is that schools, the educational system needs to create real alternatives for these kids, so they can not only come in and understand what's going on, right, but learn the language. Okay. That's why we need to develop strategies to integrate culturally relevant discussions, okay, culturally relevant competencies, so that students can bridge the gap.
Okay, what's that in English? Okay, what's that in English for the lay people among us? What's that in English?
Well, it's basically is, I mean, in order for a student to feel at home, right, you have to create the proper educational atmosphere. Okay. So that student can say, hold on, wait a minute, it's a new language, it's a new school, yeah, but at the same time, I'm welcomed here. Right. That's not the way it's done here right now. Okay. In other words, we have to create programs in which students can feel at home, where they can make a personal connection first. Students need to make personal connections, right, with the system. So courses, classes, teachers, schools need to be more attractive to them. I'm not saying go back to bilingual programs, ESL. What I'm saying is develop bridges, right, construct bridges where they can feel like that they're going to learn, understand, that they can compete, that they're not just there to be a number.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Would you say in other countries, people who come in with different languages are basically told sink or swim? So what makes Puerto Ricans here any different from any other country? Should they, or is it the policy here pretty much sink or swim?
Well, the policy for all the students coming in is sink or swim. Okay. You know, the fact that there are more Puerto Ricans coming in now, and more Hispanics, that's a fact. Right. But cultural competencies is not only for Hispanic kids; it's for all kids. Right. You know, kids need to make a connection. They need to identify, to really feel that the schools and the administration of schools is willing to help them along the way. Okay. And I want to be clear that efforts are being made. Okay. You know, efforts are being made, and but at the same time, more can be done.
Okay, you're being very kind. So, are you being politically correct here? The effort that's being put forth is minuscule at best. Okay, and we need to step it up. So, what are we going to do to try to step it up from your side?
Well, like I said, the school board had to step up into the plate on this. Right now, we only have
need to create jobs.
Correct.
As well.
That's one thing about creating job. But I believe too that the school board, right now we have one Hispanic in the board, and I know that Kelvin Soto has been doing things to help this situation. Yes. But in my part, is to create the infrastructure for new jobs and opportunity, okay, and that's what we're doing.
All right. Recently, you had a job fair for, I believe, 3 jobs or 2 jobs?
3 jobs.
3 jobs. Enlighten me, what happened?
Well, according to people that attended that job fair for food assistants, bus drivers, and custodians.
For the city of Kissimmee?
For the Osceola County.
Osceola County, right.
School districts,
right,
which serves primarily Kissimmee.
Right.
There were close to 1,000 people there.
For 3 jobs?
For 3 jobs.
Wow, that's amazing.
For 3 job openings, of course.
Right. Single job openings?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, no, just saying 3 jobs. Us 3 going for, whatever jobs. But there's 1,000 of us behind, 1,000 people behind us for the same job.
So that is what's going to happen come the new school year.
Right.
And schools are preparing for 50, 100 more students. But what if we have 200, 300, 400 more new students per school? Then what? Yeah. Then what? We cannot receive these kids with the traditional curriculum, with the same kind of literature, with the same kind of work that traditional mainstream kids are taught. Right. Bridges have to be built. Right. Supplementary readers have to be made available.
Sure.
Schools need to be, colleagues, language teachers, ESO teachers, right, should get together and work to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, Black History Month. Right.
On that note, I'm going to have to cut you off. I'm sorry, just to make sure. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to join me. I appreciate it. It's an honor meeting you and talking with you guys.
Thank you, sir.
We have to do this again, okay? I'm Jose Miranda. This has been Hispanic Speak Out. We'll see you again next week, same time, same station.
This show is brought to you by Boricua Beer, coming to your local retailer in September. This show has been brought to you by Taino Light Beer, coming to your favorite retailer in September in Central Florida.